Joshua Baez has been one of the best hitters at camp this spring for the Cardinals. So why has he already been sent down? This is Locked on Cardinals.
You are Locked on Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafron, a former national radio sports anchor, born and raised in St. Louis and a lifetime Cardinals fan. Welcome to another episode of Locked on Cardinals, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. Thank you to our everydayers for always being a part of our show. For those of you who are new, welcome aboard. We hope you do enjoy this content. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving you all the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode brought to you by MLB The Show 26. Visit MLBThe.show/locked on and use code locked on, LOCKEDON, to unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Maybe you pull a diamond. We'll see. Pre-order now, available March 17th on PlayStation 5, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch, rated E for everyone. On today's show, we're going to be talking about some of the best and worst showings at spring training so far, who we've been impressed with, who we have not been. Cardinals had split squad games on Monday, winning one and losing one, so we'll touch on those results. But we're going to start today talking about what exactly is going on in left field. And to help make sense of it all, we've gone to the bullpen ourselves. We've got Thomas Gauvain from RedwoodRants.com joining us here to talk it through. Thomas, great to see you again, buddy. How are things so far in your world during spring training here in 2026?
Yeah, it's going real well. We got baseball everywhere, World Baseball Classic, spring training's kicking into higher gear. It's a good time to be a fan.
Yeah, absolutely. And better soak it in now because who knows what's going to happen in 2027. But let's talk about what's going on with the Cardinals, specifically in left field. Let's start here. We knew that the left field position was something that we were going to monitor when camp began, due in large part to the heel surgery or surgeries, we should say, that Lars Nootbaar had to go through in this offseason, which was going to make his availability for opening day suspect. And from all accounts, Newt is on track. Rehab's doing fine. Safe to say he probably won't be ready for opening day, though, but he's going to be back at some point. This doesn't feel like, flashbacks from, PTSD from the Tommy Edman time when, it's just a wrist thing, no big deal. And then we never saw him again. Like, that's not what appears to be happening here. Newt should be back, which people will be happy about. But with him on the mend, the Cardinals were going to have to figure out how to get through while he was rehabbing. Who's going to be in left field to start things off? Who's going to absorb some of these innings with Newt out? You have utility guys, Jose Fermin and Thomas Saggese, who's been with Team Italy in the WBC, in case you were wondering why you haven't heard much about him. Free agent signing, Nelson Velasquez, the team's 23rd ranked prospect, Nathan Church, and then top 100 prospect, number 4 in the system, according to MLB Pipeline, Joshua Baez. Those were like the most notable names getting reps. So I'm going to run through these numbers real quick, offensive-wise, because that's what we're more concerned with. And not so much worried about the defense. We know it's a big deal, but numbers, they need offense. They need that. So Fermin leads the team with 25 plate appearances this spring. And after getting off to a nice start in those first couple of games, he has cooled down considerably. Just 4 for 25. He's hitting 160. No home runs, 1 RBI, on-base percentage of .250. Velasquez, 21 appearances. And after a chilly start, because he didn't do much early on, he's now 7 for 21. He's been heating up, hitting .333 with a home run, 2 ribbies, 4 walks, only 2 strikeouts, which is a big deal for me, and the OBP of .440. Saggese was 3 for 9. Hitting .333, no home runs and an RBI before he left for the WBC. He's 0 for 5 with Team Italy, where he's been playing shortstop. Nathan Church offers the most upside defensively by a long shot. He's been a phenomenal defensive player in the minor leagues. Speed, great arm. 4 for 17 this spring, hitting .235, 1 home run, 3 ribbies, the OBP at .409. And then there's Joshua Baez, Thomas. 7 for 21, hitting .333. Leads the club with 3 home runs after hitting another tank on Monday. He's second on the team in RBIs with 5. He's got a stolen base. The OBP is at .417. He's slugging .762. He's got an OPS of 1.179. By all accounts, if this was a competition, you would have one hands down winner. It would be Joshua Baez. But after the games yesterday, the team made the announcement that they've reduced the spring training roster to 46 players, 5 guys going to minor league camp. They optioned Cooper Jerpy, who's still coming back, Bryson Motts, Nick Raquet, Quinn Matthews is going back to minor league camp, and outfielder Joshua Baez has been sent down. He's down to Memphis, AAA roster. Cardinals now have 30 major league roster players, 16 non-roster invitees. This was not completely unexpected, thanks to recent dialogue that Chaim Bloom had over the airwaves on Sunday that you wrote about recently. But can you shed some light on this for people who may not understand why this is happening, when in the past they're going to bring up Albert Pujols? Yeah, he barely played at AAA. More recently, Jordan Walker did not play at AAA. Those guys came up despite being young and not having, the service time down there. They were allowed to ascend to the major leagues, while the Cardinals are taking the patient approach with Joshua Baez. Explain it to us, Thomas, because we want to know why the guy who looks like he's the best hitter isn't going to be on the team.
But when it comes to Albert Pujols, I think we need to really recognize that he's a special guy. Like, you don't see Albert Pujols in your farm system even every 20, 25 years. So that's a unique case. And I think we've also recognized that Jordan Walker's promotion was a mistake, and that's probably leaning into why Baez is staying where he is right now. Chaim Bloom even mentioned that in his quotes with Tom Ackerman on Sunday. He talked very briefly about Jordan Walker and his potentially premature promotion. Baez has only had 273 at-bats in AA, 79 games. He could probably use some more seasoning just to show that what he showed last year wasn't a fluke. You got to remember that before 2025, he was not living up to his prospect type. He was fine offensively, but his strikeout rate was off the charts. He wasn't showing what he showed last year with the speed or his defense necessarily. So then to continue what he showed last year into AAA this year, then that's more of a proof of, like, yeah, this guy's legit. It wasn't a fluky 2025 season. He is who we thought he would be.
Yeah, all of that makes sense. And it was funny yesterday because after he hit the home run, I posted the video of the home run. I was like, are we sure he shouldn't be in left field? Oh, boy, because Cardinal fans are smart for the most part. Casual fans are going to be like, wait, hold on, I don't understand. But most of the Cardinals fans understood it. And, oh, man, I was getting hammered as if I forgot to put like the little wink emoji at the end of it, because I understand why. You understand why. Most of the Cardinal fans get it as well, that there's no rush here for getting Baez up. And I'll throw this one out too, with Newt healing, because that's going to be his job when he comes back for the most part. Yep. It's going to be Lars Nootbaar's job in left field. You don't want a Joshua Baez getting a little taste of the majors and then shipping him back down and making him feel bad if things didn't go quite the way you wanted it to. Plus, you're not sure that you want him starting right away, and you don't want him in a platoon role. You want him to go down there and get all the at-bats and all of the playing time he possibly can. So that makes a lot of sense. Now, another thing that's been brought up is the Rookie of the Year chatter. So when you bring a guy up, and if he wins Rookie of the Year, you end up getting that extra draft pick, which is something people are hoping will happen this year with JJ Wetherholt. And I also got some pushback there too. They're like, well, we need him for the Rookie of the Year possibility in 2027. Do you think that should affect anything to get that draft pick after the first round?
Maybe 5% of the. I mean, it's not going to be something that Chaim's like, this is why we're holding back, but it's definitely something that's crossed his mind, I would imagine, to get. Assuming JJ goes off the way we expect him to, and he beats out like Connor Griffin, Nolan McLean, those other guys, and we get the draft pick for him, and then to repeat that again next year with Joshua Baez, I think it's definitely crossed his mind, but it's definitely not a major factor.
Yeah. And we know that this year is not about wins and losses. Of course, everybody wants to win more games than they lose, but you've heard the same verbiage from Chaim Bloom over and over. No shortcuts. We're not going to take shortcuts this year. We have a long-term goal. We got a plan for all of these guys. We know what we're doing, but we're not going to just, skip over things just because it's going to appease a certain portion of the fan base or because so-and-so had a good 2 weeks of baseball. Like they're just not going to overreact to stuff. Just the same way that they're probably not overreacting to some of the guys who are struggling so far this spring. They're not going to overreact with what Joshua Baez. They're happy about it. They love it, and everybody's happy about it. But I think the smart move, and you agree, is that he needs to go down to Memphis and continue his journey to get to the major leagues full time, because when you do bring him up, you're hopeful that you bring him up for good, and that's the last time you ever have to worry about that. Real quick, starting left fielder for the Cardinals on opening day, who you think it's going to be and who you want it to be. If Noot is out, we're going to say Noot's out. Who do you think it'll be there on the 26th?
I think it'll be Nathan Church. There's been a lot of chatter about him throughout camp from the beat reporters. We've seen his name come around a lot. He's got a lot of tools. His speed is there. His defense has been really good throughout his career, and he seems to be hitting. You mentioned the 880 OPS. Once again, spring training. Take that for what it's worth. But the fact that he is showing that he has a competent bat is nice. So I'd assume they'll go with Nathan Church. Who I want would be Thomas Saggese, just to see if he can like adapt into that Brendan Donovan or Tommy Edman role as the super utility guy.
Yeah, and I think he's going to get his looks. If I were to pick what I think the bench is going to kind of be like right now, I think you're going to see like a Church, Saggese, Fermin, and Pozo type of setup there on the bench. You know, some guys who have the ability to go to multiple places, utility type of roles with Fermin and Saggese. You got Pozo, who can be that third catcher, DH, little first base, the right-handed bat there coming off the bench. And then you got Church, who's got the defense, the speed. And then when Noot's back, you know, he's a guy that can still come off the bench and take over for Jordan Walker in right field if you want to. But him and Victor Scott running around out there together, I kind of like that. You know, if I'm a pitcher, that's something I'm excited about, that I got those guys roaming around out there and chasing fly balls down. Coming up next, we're going to discuss the games from Monday, which included another strong start from Matthew Liberatore. He's been pretty impressive. We'll talk about all of it coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. So today we are talking about MLB The Show 26, which, like, guys, you know this by now. I'm a huge dork when it comes to the video game world, specifically MLB The Show 26. That's not a negative thing either. It is the greatest game in baseball, and it's back with its newest installment, and we're all going to have a hard time putting this one down as soon as it's available. The early access is coming up on the 13th this week, couple days away. Full release on March 17th. Red Shane East is going to be in it. Albert Pujols is coming back. Matt Carpenter is coming back. You're going to have a chance to do the World Baseball Classic, which has been awesome again in real life. Now you get to live it in the mini seasons mode on MLB The Show 26. So if you're a gamer, you're a baseball fan, or you just want to enjoy America's favorite pastime in a new, exciting way, you're going to love MLB The Show 26. I guarantee you. Play as your favorite team and franchise players and see if you have what it takes to win your own World Series. You get to play the role of Chaim Bloom and put together the guys you want. You want Joshua Baez starting in left field? You can make that happen in franchise mode. It is up to you. Visit MLBThe.show/LockedOn. Use code LockedOn, LOCKEDON, to unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Internet connection is required. Pre-order now. Available March 17th on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and Nintendo Switch. Rated E for everyone. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Now with baseball back, a reminder that you can join that Everydayer Club, which gets you ad-free episodes and access to our group chat on Discord for the next week or so. We still got that code SPRING available for you. Get you a free month, SPRING. Head to LockedOnSTLCardinals.supercast.com or tap the link in the show notes to learn more. Thomas Gauvain from RedbirdRants.com is with us today. Let's get into the games on Monday real quick, because we had our one and only split squad scheduled, I believe. That's the only one that they're doing this spring. One half was at Roger Dean to face Baltimore. The other half was on the road to face the Astros. Home team got the W, 7-2. Away team lost 10-3. Let's start with what we saw from Matthew Liberatore, because this was the game that was actually televised, so we got to watch it, which was lovely. better to have these games on TV than no offense to the radio side of things, but visual is always going to win. But he had another nice day, Thomas. 5 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, 7 Ks. The spring ERA now at 2.70. What are some things that you've noticed about Matthew Liberatore that you like and has led to his success this spring?
Especially this most recent start, it's about his changeup. He was locating it away and down against righties, didn't throw it against lefties, obviously. But his changeup location has been exceptional. He's never going to have that blowaway velocity, the 97, the 98 that we see from aces most typically in staffs, but he's got the deep repertoire. He's got the control. He's got the command. His location has always been pretty strong. And I think we've seen something different from him this spring, just from a personality perspective, too. The Cardinals pushed him out on their nest on YouTube. They've had him more as a front-facing guy. I think that they're really trying to make him the face of the rotation. That's not to say that he's going to be a top 10 pitcher in baseball next year, but he could be very well the leader of the Cardinals rotation for this year, maybe even next year as well.
And with that, I'm a big believer in body language when I'm watching athletes out there on the field, and boy, does he look confident. Like, it doesn't look like he's searching or questioning what's going on with his mechanics or what he's going to throw. Like, he's like in bulldog mode out there so far this spring, where he's like, I know what I'm doing and let's go. And he's attacking hitters and he's filling up the zone. Like, I'm been super impressed. Like, this looks like a totally different guy than we saw last year, who was, for the first time in his career at the major league level, was a full-time starter. Remember, it was like kind of late in spring, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna, he's going to the rotation. And I don't know if he ever got fully comfortable being there, but he knew that was going to be his role coming into the season. And he just looks like he's in command and knows exactly what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. So I've been thoroughly impressed with Matthew Liberatore so far this spring, which is great news for the Cardinals moving forward. Bullpen wise, very good against Baltimore's Matt Swanson, Ryan Fernandez, Chris Roycroft, George Soriano. They all threw up zeros. Fernandez, a guy that I've kicked around on this show a couple of times for good reason, because he hasn't been very good. Had that really rough start in the first appearance of the spring, but since then, Ryan Fernandez has been pretty good. More like the guy we saw in 2024. Hasn't given up a run since. Has walked a couple guys here and there, but we'll get by. The fact that he hasn't been getting knocked around the park, positive. Swanson 2Ks, Fernandez 2Ks. Our buddy Chris Roycroft, another guy that we like to use as a punching bag on this show from time to time, still has not given up a run yet in the spring, so good for him. And then Soriano strikes out too. He still hasn't given up a run. So competition in the bullpen has been very impressive, I think, so far. Would you agree?
I do, yeah. The right-handed depth is crazy. And it's not like superstar Ryan Helsley right-handed depth, but you go from Riley O'Brien, Swanson, Stanek, Pushert, Soriano, Graceffo, Tink Hence, who was just optioned as a choice too, Chris Roycroft, Ryan Fernandez. There's so much right-handed relief depth, which is nice as you go through the season. These guys can be plucked, moved up and down for an extra day off, some rest, whatever they need.
Yeah, and we always got to be ready for the injury possibility. We always talk about last year where the Cardinals were basically unscathed last year. John King was the only dude that really had any injury issues, which is very bizarre. That does not happen normally. And one of the things that Heimblum targeted was like, do we need pitching depth? Because that's probably not going to happen again. Rotation, bullpen depth, and that's something that I think so far we've seen that they've got that available, at least so far here in the spring. We'll see when they really start mattering in March or later in March, how that affects things when they have to face all big league hitters, but that's later on down the road. Offensively, our buddy JJ Wetherholt, another solid day. Apotaka home run, which is always cool to see. His power to the opposite field has been very impressive ever since he's become a professional. His second of the spring. We mentioned Baez hit his third. Chase Davis, though. Thomas, Chase Davis, 2 taters. Drove in 3. Nice to see the former first-round pick putting bat on ball, because that's really been his biggest problem. The strikeouts were really, really high. They are this spring again. I think he leads the team with 9 of them, but you see the damage he can do and how he can be a dangerous hitter when he's putting the ball in play.
Yeah, absolutely. The 2 home runs yesterday was huge for him. I'd love to see more walks, especially after last year with the strikeout rate the way it was. spring training. That's fine. But he feels like a guy who I would have wanted to see a heavy focus on the walks. He's got the slug. He's always pretty much had that. I don't think there's a more beautiful swing in the Cardinals camp than his as well. But I'd like to see a focus now on the walks for him these next couple of weeks. He will probably get sent out of Major League camp very soon once they make the next round of cuts. But if he can start showing some advancements in his play discipline and approach, I think that'd be huge for him.
Yeah, he's another guy that hasn't made it to Memphis yet. He was part of the Springfield team last year, was a major part of the winning that they did at Springfield. And yeah, you mentioned that swing, and we're always going to have, our eyes are always going to be towards the lefties and how pretty their swings can be. Him and Colton Ledbetter have been the two swings that I'm like, ooh, and I've been calling him Colton Lead Butter because his swing is like butter, Thomas. Very impressive stuff. So it was nice to see Chase Davis putting him on the board last night, or yesterday, I should say. Now against Houston, let's jump over to the other game. We had Richard Fitts getting his second start. The first one went really, really well. Everybody was like, all right, put him in the rotation. He's God's gift to pitching. And then yesterday he got roughed up a little bit. 2 2/3 innings. He started off really nice in the game, but then 2 2/3 innings. He allows 4 runs on 6 hits, 1 dinger, strikes out 3. He's still velo-wise popping 97, which obviously is going to open up some eyes. But what have been your impressions of Richard Fitts so far? And do you think he should be in this rotation? I know obviously we're a few weeks away from picking all of that, but do you think he deserves a shot to be in that rotation over, say, Andre Palante at this point?
Yeah, I was about to say his name if you didn't, but I would imagine Fitz starts in AAA just to work out some of those kinks. His velo's there. It looks like that's going to hold over these last couple of starts as he continues into the regular season. His location could use some work. He needs a little bit more of a touch against left-handed batters. I would suspect they put him in AAA just to get these kinks out. And then, I mean, honestly, fantastic depth. If you've got to call in a guy for an injury, or if after the month of May, you still see Kyle Leahy or Andre Palante struggling, to have Richard Fitts ready to go, I'm perfectly fine with that. It's much better than what we've seen the last 3 years as far as backup goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Having him and Hunter Dobbins, who was on his way back from the knee injury.
Quinn Matthews, too. You've got him. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's again, we're talking about depth that Heimblum has gotten the Cardinals, where when things go sideways, you don't have to watch a guy continue to struggle over and over and over. And give credit to Andre Palante. He hasn't had a bad spring whatsoever. And, if he earns that spot, then so be it. And I keep telling people, don't freak out just because of the opening day roster. I was like, this thing is fluid all season. People are going to go up and down, and people are going to get hurt. So don't just freak out over who the people are just on opening day. All right. There's plenty of time for things to change. Veteran left-hander Bruce Zimmerman had a rough day yesterday. He only lasted an inning and a third. He allowed 5 runs on 6 hits, and that's when the game kind of got really out of control against the Astros. Offensively, Nathan Church 1 for 2 with a walk. Nelson Velasquez 2 for 3 with an RBI. Jordan Walker was 1 for 4, but also struck out 3 times. So not a ton to brag about in this one as far as the offense, who did work 7 walks, but they also struck out 13 times. So any other takeaways from that particular game that you wanna hit on?
Gorman and Walker, please. But I think we'll get to them in just a minute.
Let's save those.
Yeah,
let's save
there
those
we go.
real quick, because we're about to jump into a new segment. And it's because I've been watching, for whatever reason, Thomas, I've been watching more WWE wrestling on YouTube and on Netflix.
Okay.
And the Macho Man kept popping up. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, ooh, that sounds like a segment. So the oh, yeahs and uh-ohs of spring training so far, that is our next segment we'll get into with Thomas Gauvain from RedBirdRants.com on Locked On Cardinals. College basketball is nonstop. You got the big games, the tight spreads, momentum swings every single night, from early tip-offs to late night West Coast shootouts. There's always action on the board. We've got the conference tournaments underway. March Madness is here, and now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. You can really build whatever you want to build. There's so much room for you to get creative with the rivalry games, with the ranked matchups, mixed spreads. totals, player props, match how you see the slate playing out. It is really in your lap and your decisions to make, and you apply the profit boost after you figured it all out and instantly bump up the potential payout, make it easier for you. So looking at odds around your team, who do you think is going to make it? Who are going to be the surprises here in March, college basketball wise? Okay. There's always teams that pop up out of nowhere and are just like, where did they come from? These are the people that you want to be looking for. So you can either go safe, which is fine. You can do that, or go bold, which is what I root for. Ride with the team you've been following all season. It's your parlay, your style now with more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. It is tax time, but for a lot of us, the old way of doing taxes is a lot. It's a lot of work. Trying to book an appointment, that's not the most convenient. Sitting in a waiting room with a stack of papers, emailing back and forth, and wondering if you really got your situation the way it needs to be. But this year, you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Just like that. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's the relief of walking in and meeting a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled right. So head to TurboTax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Thomas Gauvain from RedbirdRants.com is with us. The oh yes and the uh-ohs. First off, do you have a Macho Man Randy Savage impersonation, Thomas? This is important. You're still on mute.
I'm sorry. During the commercial break. No, WWE.
He's psyching me out. I was like, oh my gosh, oh no, he doesn't have
No,
one.
that's my end. I try to. There's sounds in the background during the commercials. I want it to be all professional. Right? That's what we're doing here.
It's all good.
No, I do not. I do not watch WWE. So that's I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you can't give me that.
I cannot. No, it's gonna be clipped, and then I'm gonna.
Well,
someone's going to clip it.
That, I know you can give me some oh yes and uh-ohs from camp so far. So I'll let you decide what path you want to start on. You want to go with the oh yes, which is the good stuff, or do you want to go with the uh-ohs? I'm starting to hear myself, and I sound more like the Kool-Aid Man than I do.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just putting that out there. But which path do you want to go to?
I'll start with an oh yeah, and I'll start on the infield. We'll give it to Alec Burleson right away. He's got a 294, 455, 471 slash line, a home run to his name. He's just producing the way that we needed him to in spring. I feel like he's kind of flown under the radar. Like you've heard all the prospect names, you've heard a lot of focus on the pitchers, rightly so. But Burley's just out there doing his job. Exactly what we need him to do right now in spring.
Yeah, because we do a Locked On Top 100 list, and nobody from the Cardinals made the list, which was sad, but wasn't totally unexpected. But I'm like, there's a silver slugger guy in this lineup each and every day, and he's finally got a position he can call home, and just gets no love whatsoever. So completely under the radar coming into 2026, and hopefully Burley will open up some eyes, and we'll get a little bit more attention this year. All right, who else you got?
Oh, Josh Baez, but he's an obvious candidate there as well. I'll also go. I don't know. Okay, so I'm trying to build up some goodwill here. We'll go with Joel Pozo. Why not?
Hey,
let's get me unblocked here. 1141 or 1143 OPS. He has not struck out yet. He's got his 3 walks, so his plate discipline is there. He came into camp. Everybody's been saying he's looking fit, looking better than he ever has. And I know you always hear that, but like for him, where he's going to be flexing around at first base, I wouldn't be surprised if we see an outfield game or two thrown in there as well. I've been impressed with Joel Pozo's makeup this spring.
Yeah, coming in camp, 30 pounds down, looking light, looking fit. And, and he's one of those guys, too, that the clubhouse loves. He's an energy guy that everybody feeds off of. So you can totally see just by doing what he's done offensively, but why they want him around. And, it appears that he's going to make that opening day roster after Jimmy Crooks got pushed down. I'll bring up JJ Wetherholt. Obviously we're expecting big things out of JJ. Hot start, cooled off a little bit, hits the dinger on Monday, and it's second base is his job, and a chance to win the NL Rookie of the Year coming up in 2026. And I want to give some love to just the pitching overall.
Yeah.
See some wacky scores so far this spring. A lot of it's out west, but you've seen some wacky scores. And for the Cardinals pitching staff and I know it's spring and you're not supposed to get overly excited, but I can't help but feel positive about what we've seen at camp so far from the guys that are supposed to be competing for spots. You're going to see the minor leaguers struggle here and there, but for the most part, it's been pretty impressive what the rotation and these bullpen arms have been able to do. All right, let's switch it up and go to the who are some guys that you're worried about that you've seen at camp so far and you're like, buddy, you better pick it up?
I was going to go with Gorman as like the big I don't know if it's as big as we might be thinking. He's got 3 walks and 3 strikeouts, it's good to see. His slugging percentage was .409, which I'll take out of him. I'd love another home run or 2 maybe at some point, but it's not that bad. I think what we're seeing from him is similar to what we saw from June to August last year, where he focused more on the on-base and the approach, not necessarily the batting average. I mean, he's hitting 136, which is pretty abysmal. But he's still got those 3 walks in there. That helps his OBP a little bit. It's only 240. You need a 300s there. But I think Gorman's struggles might be a little bit overblown when looking at the underneath stuff.
Yeah, I haven't been totally upset with him when I have seen him in game action. He's looked pretty good over at third base too, which is
that's the other thing.
He's switching positions back over to third base, but that's kind of what I think he's going to be at his ultimate power. He's low average, high power, and obviously the strikeouts are going to come, but you just want that OBP. You want him to be able to walk. I always compare him to Max Muncy from the Dodgers. That's the kind of style I need him to be.
Yep.
I'm not expecting him to hit 250. I'm expecting him to sit around 225, but I need OBP and I need the danger ability of his power. So we'll see if that comes to fruition this year. You mentioned Jordan Walker. I know you got something you want to get off your chest about Jordan and what he's done so far. So let him have it, Thomas. What's up with J-Dub?
Get a hit, man. I mean, this is his year. He needs to show that he can hit baseballs, especially high fastballs and breaking balls down and away. And he is currently hitting 217, 280, 217. No extra base hits, 497 OPS, 8 strikeouts to 2 walks. I just don't know if he's seeing the baseball right now. And he very well could be working on some stuff in other areas, but you would hope that the thing he's trying to work on in spring training is the high fastballs and breaking balls down and away. And I'm not sure if he's making those adjustments yet.
Yeah.
He's gotten the time, and he's got 23 at bats. He's near the top of the team in at bats, at least.
Yeah, they're not hiding him by any means.
No.
One thing I saw the great Bernie Miklasz, who I used to read at Post-Dispatch growing up, and obviously still covers the Cardinals in a number of different ways. But he had a stats, and I'm trying to remember where he put it. I know it was on X, but I don't know. He was talking about the ground ball rates and stuff of Jordan Walker so far this spring, and it's like 60%. Yeah, here it is. This is a tweet. 32% strikeout rate, and according to Fangraphs, 80% of his batted balls in play are ground balls or infield pop-ups. Ground ball rate at 60%. I mean, none of this is what we were hoping to see this spring after hearing about all the hard work he put in the offseason. We're still rooting for Jordan Walker. Again, you can't overreact to all the good things and then overreact to all the bad things either. So you got to kind of stay even keel, but certainly we're hoping for more from Walker. And another name I'll put out there is Victor Scott. I wanted to see more from him. He had another stolen base on Monday, so he's got 3 this spring, but 6 strikeouts. The walks are there. He's got 4 of those, but we just need him to be on base more so he can be that weapon, as the stolen base machine that we know that he's capable of being. So any other uh-ohs that you're worried about this spring, or does that really kind of wrap it up for you?
That's pretty much it on the hitting side. I think you touched well on the pitchers. The ones we needed to see have performed pretty well. I think if Matt Pushard is one of those back end right hand or the deep in the bullpen guys, I think I'd like to see a little bit more out of him. But once again, he's only thrown 3 innings, so let's give him some time.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let us know in the comments section who are some of your oh yeahs and uh-ohs that you've been impressed with at camp so far, and which ones are you disappointed in. But yeah, the Gorman, Walker, Victor Scott, those were kind of the 3 guys that you were really hoping to see production from in the spring, just to give you some good vibes going into the season. They're going to be on the team. That's not that they're not going to be, but you're just hoping that there'd be some positive stuff going, some positive juju heading into opening day. And so far it's been limited at best. I think that's the nicest way to say it. So, but yeah, let us know in the comments section your thoughts on this stuff. Thomas, anything you're working on for redbirdrants.com that our listeners should be aware of?
Little by little, I'm chipping away at ranking our 9 starting pitching options for next year. That might take me a couple days, but then otherwise just some news and notes that I come up with throughout the week.
All right. Well, give Thomas a follow at Thomas Gauvain on X, and obviously go read his work at redbirdrants.com. Thank you guys for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow as well on X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube. Pushing for 14,000 subscribers. If you never miss an episode, Every Day Our Club is built for you. Locked On Cardinals ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head to lockedonstlcardinals.supercast.com. Use the code SPRING for that free month. And for those of you on video, we'll send you to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On the audio side of things, make your second listen Locked On MLB with Sully. Thomas, always great catching up with you, brother. And thanks for hanging out with us here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You guys are the best fans of baseball for a reason. We'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.